Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the Get to Know Her show. I am your host, Monica Graves. I'm so excited. We have another fabulous guest this week. I cannot wait to introduce you to her. Before we go there, I want to thank you guys all so much. Last week, many of you have met my sweet little dog, Boink. She is a Jack Russell Pug mix, and she's been a big part of my business and my life, and she's our little angel, and she's going through a tough time right now, and she actually wrote the blog this week, and the outpour of love and comments, I haven't been able to get back to everybody yet. Thank you so much. You know what, you guys, I'm such a big believer in energy and sharing positive energy. Last night, you won't even believe it, we've been having some trouble. We haven't been able to get her to eat for 3 days, and it's been so worrisome. And last night, out of the blue, it was like there were angels in the basement. My husband found some food that we had put away because her diet had changed. And right now it's just like, let's get her to eat anything. So he brought the food up, and we checked the expiry. Everything was good. He put some in a bowl. She gobbled it up last night before bed. We were so happy. And then this morning when I got up, I gave her the same food again. She gobbled it up again without hesitation. So I really believe that so much of the good that's happening is from all the love that we're getting from you guys. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today I have a new outfit on from Brenda Badome, and I've got this great top now. It is navy blue. I don't know if you can see that on screen. I'm going to stand up here because with it, it's hard to see, but I'm wearing shorts. Check out the shorts from Brenda. I need a suntan. But these are her fabulous, I think they're Bermuda shorts. And I want to show you too, the shorts are chocolate brown. My top is like a lovely navy blue. And there's nothing wrong with blue and brown together, you guys. I know that's a combination that sometimes people steer away from, but it's actually, it looks great together, especially when you have jewels to tie in the two colors. And go ahead, wear your blues and browns together. They look great. So if you want to check out Brenda Badome and get yourself a pair of shorts and a funky little top, you can go to brendabadome.com and remember to use the coupon code Get to Know Her for 21% off of your order. So now it's time to introduce our guest. We have Shannon Tobin with us today, and I'm putting my specs on so I can read you her amazing bio. Shannon is a mom, author, mentor, and philanthropist. Shannon's core belief is that success is not a skill, it's an outside job. This is a driving factor for Shannon as she has overcome adversity in her own life. She is the founder and CEO of Dare to Be Youth Charity, DTBY, a charity dedicated to supporting young adults ages 17 to 24 in Halton and Hamilton. Shannon and her team turned a crisis into an opportunity and spent the last 9 months of 2020 defining a model of support for young adults who needed assistance to develop confidence and resilience to set them up for success as our next generation of future leaders. She has been recognized for her exemplary achievements and contribution in supporting her community by demonstrating true leadership and for creating positive change. Shannon Tobin.
Hey.
Oh my God. I'm so happy you're here. This is fantastic. You're a real life changer. Just reading your bio, I'm like, this girl needs a cape.
No, I don't. Thank you, but no, I do not see myself in that light at all. I've eaten my share amount of humble pie over the years. I will be honest. This is so not about me, and I think that's the key, and that's what is my driving force. That it really isn't about me. So, but thank you for having me. And I did not know about your dog. I'm so sorry. But
thanks.
A great story to hear that he's doing better.
Yeah. So Shannon, we had, a couple of months ago, she was diagnosed with lymphoma. Yeah.
Oh.
So, it's sort of one of those things where, we just decided that we're not going to she's 12. You don't want to put a dog through chemotherapy or at least we didn't. That wasn't for us. But yeah, it's been, so that diagnosis was April the 4th, and she's still enjoying life. She's not in pain, and that's the main thing, right? I think you just know when you get to the point, but in a way it's nice to know because you cherish every single moment. And last night getting her to eat was like, holy smokes.
Celebration.
Yeah, it was amazing. So
I know when we talk about our animals, I think we could cry because, they are really, truly like they demonstrate unconditional love in such a beautiful way. It's not like humans, right? We hold grudges and we hate on people, and our dogs just love us unconditionally until they're gone. And so my heart goes out for you and your family as you, transition through this end of life process, because really that's what it is, right? That's
right. It is. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so true. And there are angels waiting for her that will take good care of her.
Yeah,
so
all the dogs and cats and animals in heaven are having a party.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So Shannon, I'm dying to know what you wanted to be when you grew up. What was going through little Shannon's mind?
Well, it's funny when I read that, honestly, I haven't even put any preparation into this because I do much better just speaking ad lib. But I looked at the questions just before you and I got on at 12 to have a quick catch up, and I'm like, what did I want to be? Oh yeah, I do remember at one point in my life I wanted to be a nurse because I love caring for people. And until I saw the sight of blood, and then I'm like, no, I can't do this. And now I actually hate hospitals. My best friend is a nurse. Has worked in the ICU intensive care unit for babies, sick kids, and Ari, I look at the work that she does in the hospital and all the stuff that she has to go through, and I think I would pass out. So you think what you want to do until you actually experience something that is kind of almost a test to see whether or not that is for you. So that didn't last very long at all. But even growing up in high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I actually really didn't like high school other than the social, as you and I were talking about earlier. When's the next bush party? I played basketball, volleyball, and I was more interested in the social element of high school. I really could care less about academics. It just was not something I was passionate about, probably because I wasn't doing anything that I was really gifted in the sense of school, right? And it wasn't until I went to college and I took a 2-year interior design and architect course, and I did some business that I really kind of felt, okay, I'm creative. Maybe this is kind of where I need to go. And then I graduated. I got a contract with one company and became an entrepreneur and realized it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I never got a job in that field. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 21, and really, truly, it was the best personal development and leadership development experience that I've ever had. That's really shaped me to who I am today, in the sense of learning about rejection, learning about people, and stuff. So what I thought I wanted to do was not anywhere near what it ended up being. So
that's so interesting, Shannon. I find this fascinating because I remember a long time ago, I read an article, and it was about, I think it was written for teenagers, 20 somethings, talking about, how do you know when you find that thing that you're meant to do, find your purpose, this kind of thing. And the advice that they gave was, look at what you're doing now and look at what you did as a kid that you were good at and that really made you excited. And I know we were joking about bush parties and stuff, but you think about your circle of friends, even picking up the phone and arranging the party and calling and making sure everybody's going to be there and who's bringing what. And these are all important skills for running your own business, right? It's very entrepreneurial in that you're actually creating something for people. So, there's a lot of value in that. And maybe you and I both got yelled at because we weren't doing our homework and we were on the phone, but We were in training for entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you,
Yeah.
when I was 6, so my son is 16 now, and I think what I did when I was 16 and what he's not doing, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
I got a boy, number one. I have a social introvert as a son who's not needing of, that social out with people. I mean, he's very social introvert, like as an introvert, right? And so he has his fun with his small circle online right now, obviously due to COVID. But that's interesting how you just never know what.
That's so
happens.
great. So I just want to give you a little shout outs from some friends of yours who are watching right now. So Lori McIntyre says, hi, Shannon. Amy Blanchard. Amy Blanchard, hello, my beautiful friend. Rachel Shadid, my beautiful mentor, Shannon, is so inspiring. Woohoo, so proud. And Amy's saying again, Shannon is the best. So there you go.
I wish you didn't tell me that. These are people that I've been on a journey with, Amy and Rachel and Lori. It's great to see her on there. It's awesome when you have people in your Amen corner, because I've had people that haven't been in my Amen corner over the years as I've journeyed to, taking that road less traveled, and that's been a challenge in itself, but also a growth experience too, to really find out who your true peeps are, who are the people that really truly love you unconditionally, in the sense of allowing you to spread your wings and really be authentic, versus putting you in a box and judging you for your decisions that you're making that they think you shouldn't be making. And I think, it's been incredible growth for me. Let me just say that.
That's amazing. I love that.
Lori and Rachel for your shout outs. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so great. Amy says, amen, sister. So
she knows all about
Shannon,
that for sure.
One of the things I really want to chat with you about today, we're going to talk about Dare to Be You. And so Dare to Be Youth is the charity and Dare to Be You is the website, correct?
It's just our tag.
Okay, cool. I love that.
Yeah, when I originally started Dare to Be You Foundation, that was in 2012. And so we were a fundraising foundation. We raised funds through events, and we gave those dollars away to organizations who already had programs running successfully in the community.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, and we had hosted an event back in 2018 for our community youth, high school students. And I loved it. I love that aspect of bringing them together and in community and helping them, giving them the tools. That was in 2018. So I kind of had the bug of what it was like to kind of run our own program through obviously a partnership with the Global Leadership Summit, which is my favorite leadership training that I have attended 6-7 years in a row. If you've ever known anything about Global Leadership Summit, check it out if you don't. Amazing. And so then COVID hit, and we were in a predicament, like, what do we do? And I'm all about sometimes jumping in with both feet without thinking, and I have to create something. And so it started off with our Spotlight project and helping our 2020 grads. And of course, Teresa Berg was a big piece to that. And I know that you know her well. And we changed our direction. We pivoted. We had to, we went through a whole name change, and of course, objectives change. And so now we not only raise dollars to still continue to pay it forward in the service of others, but to also create our own programs. And so we did that this past year. And I say we, because it was a team of people that came together. Just blew the roof off. Like it really,
So I want to give the audience some context as to how much humble pie you actually eat. So I have this show. It's called Get to Know Her, and I'm talking to Shannon for the very first time on the phone, and Shannon is bringing up names of other women who she works with, other young women, and wanting to bring them in because she doesn't want, Shannon, it's like you didn't want to take the credit, or you didn't want to be the focus or the highlight. And I was like, this woman is amazing. And then we had a little text back and forth. I said, Shannon, the show is called Get to Know Her, and I really want to focus on you for 45 minutes, and you deserve you've created this, right? I mean, you have so many amazing women to be grateful for who are supporting you, but I really, it's important that we honor you, because without you, there wouldn't be this. And
my crazy ass idea is that our board and team shake their heads sometimes and go, oh gosh, another one. Well, thank you. Honestly, it's a vision. It was my vision, and I just surrounded myself with champions and people who had strengths that I didn't have. I mean, it takes a community to create massive change. It's not a one-man show. Success, and you mentioned success is outside. It's actually an inside job, because it starts with you yourself as a person. But when you can surround yourself with other people who bring gifts that you don't have, that's how you create the most incredible team. And I'm truly so blessed. None of the people that I've worked with this year have had ego. They've had one mission, and it was to truly that same end goal, to make that difference and an impact in the lives of our students and our young adults. And that's why it happened, was because there was no ego at the center. Like, gone, right? So
Shannon, this is a really interesting thing you're saying, because I will say that a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, sometimes we get so involved in what we're doing that we feel like there is no possible way I can bring other people into this. How are they going to know how I want things done? It's sort of a combination of wanting to be in control and also not quite knowing how to delegate. And like you were saying, all your crazy ideas, it's true. It's like all these ideas come up and you're like, well, what do I do with this? And how is this person going to understand where I'm coming from? They're not me. So you can kind of take a road of being very on your own. But as we know, big things happen when we share and when we bring other people in, and also when we are brave enough to say, I don't have strength in that area. I need help. Asking for help is huge. So have you always been like that, Shannon, where you've been? No. So what changed for you?
What? Some person once said to me, probably maybe 7 years ago, your pride is overriding your humility. And it was through a message from that person to another person that I received that message. And I was at a point in my life where I was broken. I was at a crossroad on so many levels. And I took that advice, and I didn't particularly like it. It didn't taste good, but I sat in it, in that discomfort. I sat in the discomfort of, if this person is saying my humility or pride is overriding my humility, what do I need? And it was my dear friend, Ari, who helped me through this process. She was the one who gave me that. She was the bearer of that news. And I'll never forget where I was sitting, how it felt, but I was ready to receive that mirror. And I think that's the key when we talk about success as an inside job. If your ego and your pride is in the way, you will never fix your flaws. You will never heal from what it is that you need to heal from. And so I was ready. I'm like, I don't like the way this tasted. That, that ingredient to that chocolate chip cookie. You have to taste all the ingredients to get to that final, beautiful, delicious cookie. And it was an ingredient that I did not like the taste of. However, I sat in it, and I worked for several years on how to heal and grow through that and let it go. And so I can definitely honestly say that if I had this vision to do this new direction back then, I would have more pride. And I don't want to say ego, but maybe the pride and ego can be tied together. And so that was a painful experience that helped shift and change me and grow me into a better version of myself. And it continues every day. And even this year, I learned things about myself that, like, we worked our asses off. Like, there was no watching Netflix. There was no, sitting around eating bonbons. I did eat a lot. I probably put on like 10 pounds, and now I've lost it again because I'm like, okay, this COVID weight does not feel good at all. But there was no, like, I wasn't sitting around, right? And so it was a year of of hard work and growth, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So the other thing I want to jump to, because I feel like it relates to this. We all get to where we're going not because things were easy. We have adversity in our life. There are things that we're challenged with. There are things that happen to us that we never asked for, and they bring us to the humans that we are today. Mm-hmm. So first of all, I want to talk about a very special day that you're celebrating today.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
And
so make you cry again.
Be real, raw, and authentic, right?
Yeah.
Crazy how we set this up, and didn't even know that it was on the anniversary birthday of my dad. And it was until like an hour ago that I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, I'm doing this interview today, acknowledging where I am in my life. And it's on my dad's birthday. My dad died when I was 3. Tragically, he drowned on December the 2nd. And it's crazy. Like, this is totally a gift on so many levels. And so for years, we mourned every year on December 2nd, his death, right? It was December 2nd, anniversary of my dad's death. And then again, this incredible human, Ari, as you hear me say a lot of, because she's been pivotal in my life over the last 9 years since we met. And she said, instead of mourning, focusing on the day that he died, why don't you put some energy and focus into the day he was born and celebrate his life? He came into this world on that day, and it was a positive thing, right? So today would have been his birthday. He was 34 years old when he died and when he left this earth. And today was that day. And so how awesome to be able to share with everybody, just where I'm at. Many, many years later, I was 3 years old. I'm 50 now. So that it's still painful. But I'm crying. My tears are not sad tears. It's a gratitude, and it's almost like okay, he planned that. He's totally my guardian angel and watches over me all the time, and I feel his presence greatly. So they're not tears of sadness; they're tears of joy and happy.
That's so beautiful. What year was he born, Shannon?
So I don't know the year.
So if he was, okay, now I'm going to try to do fast math, which is never good. Okay, so he died when he was 34 and you were 3 and you're 50 now.
Yeah, so
okay, we're going to challenge the audience to come up with the year.
So yeah, he would have been 81 now, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So I don't even know if I have more mascara on, but anyways, nonetheless, this is my real, raw, and authentic self. And I think, if I can give others permission to just show up as themselves and be real and not sit back and worry about what other people are saying or judging, or, there's always going to be people in your life that don't agree or that don't relate to you and that don't like you. Not everybody is going to. I had a mission when I was younger. I wanted everybody to like me, and it cost so much of my own happiness in order to try to please other people, right? So
how did you overcome that? That's a huge
again, success is an inside job, right? It's the journey of discovering who I was and how I wanted to show up in the world. And it came from, I have had like 3 big, huge losses, well, maybe more, but big losses, pivotal loss in my life. And one was my dad passing away. The other was a 10-year marriage. I was in a marriage, and I do not blame this person because I take full responsibility of being in that marriage too. He didn't have me handcuffed, to our marriage. And I was in a very toxic, unhealthy relationship for 13 years, 10 years married. And so that was another loss and sever, right? You never, want to, even though something's not healthy, it's still a loss, right?
Right.
And then in a career that I worked, and I'm not going to get into details, but which I'm still involved in, There was a huge sever there too, because there was a threat in the work that I was doing as in Dare to Be You, and they didn't like me being outside that box. And I have no problem talking about it. And there was a lot of haters, and they were women, and they hated on me for years, trying to, you know, steer me in a different direction, or they didn't support me. You know, the people that I thought were my friends that stabbed me in the back because of a passion that I felt I was so called to be part of, and they didn't like it. And so there was another divorce sever from what I thought was going to be my lifetime career of what I was going to do forever. And I had to walk away physically from those events, because I wasn't supported in what I was doing outside the philanthropy work that I was doing outside that work. So those are three major divorces, I guess, or losses that I guess you say that I experienced. And it's painful. And there will be more. You know, my son is 16, and he's gearing up to moving out of the house. I'm a believer that every teenager, when they hit 18 and they're, you know, taking on that post-secondary education, I'm a believer in them having to be on their own and experience life without being, you know, in the nest. And so I'm even grieving that process now, as Cole is 16. He has a girlfriend. You know, I'm like the last on his list of priorities. But, you know, for 10 years, I was a present parent. I was there. I chose to put dating and all that other kind of stuff aside to be a present parent and raise my son. And now he's this independent young man who is getting ready to spread his wings in a couple of years and fly. And I sit back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's another, you know, grieving process that we have to go through. But it's also beautiful when you see the works of your labor, and you see these, like, I could die in a car accident today and he could live on his own and be self-sufficient. And that to me is
amazing.
It's not I don't take credit for that. I take credit as being a parent, but he is stepping to do his own, because I didn't do for him what he could do for himself. And I think we enable people all the time. We enable the people we work with. We enable our children. We enable our friends and family, and we have to stop enabling people because they don't grow. And a prime example of that was this year. I was put in so many uncomfortable positions with DWY and us, this new direction, dealing with the CRA, dealing with all these things that I was not comfortable with. And Carolyn Swara, who is our chair, incredible. Our whole board is amazing. But I'll never forget the one time she said, like, she pulled back and she said, you need to step into this role, like, with confidence. And I pulled back for a reason. And now you're shining and you're doing the things that I was scared shitless to do certain things. And I wanted to lean on people to help me through certain processes. And when she pulled back and she made me step into this new role as CEO and moving, you know, the dial with this new direction, it was, I'm so grateful for that growth. Wow. If she would have done it, I wouldn't have been stretched.
I'm so happy that you're talking about that fear of this, you know, doing things that are new, that you don't have any experience in, because I think also what happens to us, like, we hit our 30s and it's like, go, accomplish, you know, we're like, it's like, you want to have a title and you want to have things and you want to get somewhere. And that's kind of where the head is in your 30s. And then when you start coming out of your 40s and going into your 50s, it's almost like we go back to when we're a teenager in a way, where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And I don't think people ever really talk about that or see that. You just assume the woman is now 50. She's accomplished. She's worked 20 years. She knows what she's doing. But it's so comforting to hear you say that, Shannon, because I feel like that a lot too. Some days it's like, this is uncharted territory. Like, who the hell do I think I am at this age to be doing this? And it's, you know, none of us should do that. Just go for it. Like, I'm so happy that you went for it and you just stepped into that role.
and uncomfortably, like very
Yeah.
uncomfortably. Let me say this, like there were days I'm not an anxious person. And there were days like I would wake up with anxiety, and it was just that fear of like doing the things that I had never done before. Like, how do you stretch yourself when you're complacent and doing like the same thing, right? And so I was totally stretched to do things that I had never done. And a lot of it had to deal with, you know, like the CRA, I look at them as the police, right? Like I'm afraid of the police, I'm afraid of the CRA, and I don't know why I'm afraid of the CRA. But it was a crazy experience, and now I'm so grateful. I really feel like I've stepped into my own, and I don't know what the next adventure will be, but I will say this, like 10 years as a parent, where parenting was going through a divorce, fighting for custody, you know, raising Cole, you know, to be this young, self-sufficient, kind young man, to now it's like I'm 50 and this new decade, it's for me. Like it's what I love about this next decade that I'm about to, that I'm walking through, is that I can be selfish in the sense of do something for me, and a realization too that I also realized with my mom being like my hero and on so many levels, and how she just pulled up her straps and just went to work. She also taught me that work was everything. And so I'm a hard worker. I'm not afraid of work, but I also have to, you know, it's that play hard, work hard mentality. And even like I don't work Sundays. I don't turn on the computer. It's one day that my day of Sabbath that I'm a faith-filled woman, and I spend the day like on doing the things that I know I need to do for myself. But she also taught me that she never got remarried, and she just worked. And I thought to myself that it wasn't until she turns 77 this past year that she's kind of stepping back away from her work. She's been an entrepreneur. I'm like, I don't want to work till I'm 77. Like I've already planning like 10 years now. When I'm 60, I don't need to be rich. I don't need to have, you know, everything, you know, all the material things. I just want to be able to say at 60, I'm going to go and do whatever I want to do and how I want to do it. And not be working till I'm 77 years old. So that was another realization over COVID that I realized, like, okay, so what am I doing moving forward, right? How am I going to live my life now?
So Shannon, when you have your day on Sunday, how do you calm yourself down to actually relax?
It's hard. Because your mind is always going. Like I watch church online. I'm part of the meeting house in Oakville. Amazing. It's a church for people that don't like church.
Yeah. Do you know my friend Audrey Milford? Have you ever met Audrey?
I might. It's a huge church, but
it's a huge church. Okay.
But it's, you know, obviously during COVID we've had to go online, and so I watched them and I watched other churches, and so, you know, it's time for that. Now Cole has a new job, his first official job. So now he works every other Sunday. So like I'm forced to literally, like him and I would normally spend that time together. And so now the other Sunday when he's working, I can do really what I want to do. Like this past Sunday, I hate to say it, but I cleaned, I made meals, I did things that I hadn't been doing during the week, but it felt really good, and that's what I wanted to do. Because of course we can't go and sit on a patio and meet somebody for lunch right now, or that's what I'd be doing. But my Sunday is like, I do not look at an email. I don't I'm on social media very little, and Sundays I try to stay off it completely, just to like give my brain a break. Right?
Good for you.
It's like catch and release. I say it's a catch and release. Like I catch something, I start thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm releasing that. I'm not holding on to that today, because you need to give yourself a break for sure.
Yeah. Put it in a box, put it in a drawer.
Yeah.
Go back to it another time.
Yeah. Compartmentalize, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you guys have some exciting stuff going on right now. There is a box. An Inspire box.
We our big e-blast is going out in the next 24 hours, so it's kind of just soft launching right now. But this was
Tell us about the box. Tell us why you created the box.
Well, because first of all, we can't have an in-person event, right? So in-person events, and last year we didn't have an event, and normally we would have our signature afternoon tea, which again, maybe that was, things happen for a reason. Like I know some people don't like that and they don't believe that. And I'm just saying what I believe. Mm-hmm. I believe things happen for a reason. And so it is what it is. What am I going to do about it? And so that was kind of my mentality of, okay, another year, like this is our big fundraising opportunity. I want to be like everybody else, right? And mm-hmm. So we started this conversation a year ago, and I've given another organization the idea, and they put out a box 6 months prior to us, and I thought that was great. Like there's no competition, right? Yeah. So, but it started off interviewing our grads. We wanted to do something special for our high school grads, and I'll never forget the conversation. Teresa and I had a quick catch up on Zoom one night, and I was telling her about it. She goes, well, I don't have anything to do. I'll help you. I'm like, do you realize what you just committed to? So she played a massive role in our Spotlight project. And so we interviewed 20 Halton grads, their stories of resilience, courage, and strength, because like I'm a firm believer that mentorship is the highest impact, lowest cost way for an alumni to impact a high school student's experience, right? So mm-hmm. These are our grads. These are the ones who are gone, like they've just graduated. Tell us like your journey, your high school journey, but also during COVID. And so we created this book, McKnight Design in St. Catharines was part of this incredible 8 months, well, actually more than that, 9 months project. And the city of Burlington helped fund it, which was amazing. And so we did the Spotlight. So it started off with the book, and then it was like, well, again, I'm an innovator. This is my gift. That's just me. I'm an innovator. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, we can have this book, or we can turn this book into a box event. And so I see this as being our signature event that we do every year. And so the box has our community ambassadors walk off the earth. Lisa Lisson, who everyone knows here, is the president and CEO of FedEx Canada, and she's a mentor of mine. And I remember reaching out to her saying, I'd love to just sit in your presence and pick your brain. This was prior to COVID. And so we did. We had a few coffees together, and she was pivotal in connecting us with, again, it's who you know and the relationships that you form. So if I can stress anything right now, it's about relationships. Your life path and journey is all about forming solid, good relationships. Some don't form. Some you walk away from. Some, like, it's like that ship has passed and you have to close the door to something you thought was going to be forever. And then you have to also walk through new doors and allow other people to stretch you and grow you. And so she connected us with the amazing Walk Off the Earth, and they're like incredible givers as well in our community. And they jumped on. So on our website, if you go up to the high schools, they did video messages for each of the 10 high schools in Burlington. And which was awesome. And so this year, as part of being our ambassadors and us, again, supporting them too, because they didn't have concerts. Yeah. And so we thought, well, we need 500 t-shirts. What can we get the t-shirts from you? And so this box has a vintage concert Walk Off the Earth t-shirt, which is really, really cool. Amazing. But the most important piece that's in there is a USB bracelet that has an e-ticket to our Youth Inspire Community Day in November. And our graduates from our Surviving to Thriving workshop that we launched in January, thanks to our new direction, they have all stepped up. And, the Surviving to Thriving workshop was around me, we, and community. So developing a stronger me. How do I want to show up in the world? How do I support and work with the people in my circle, like your people, your family, your friends, your community, and then community. And how do I want to give back? And so we have 10 graduates from our 2 quarters that are forming a community youth council. And we officially kick off on Wednesday night, this Wednesday.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
And these are young leaders who went through our program, who want to give back and serve, and they're going to be hosting this Youth Inspired Community Day in November for our high school students. So the box, we haven't even like officially launched it, and we've already sold over 60 boxes.
Great.
We only have 500 in total. So I would say, hey, it's the best grade 8 gift.
Yeah.
For a high school student who just finished another COVID year. And this box will inspire them. It also has a $25 gift certificate to Artisan Pizza, and there's the comeback snacks, popcorn. I don't know if you know the story of Emily, who was actually in jail for 4 years due to smuggling drugs. Comeback snacks, you need to look her up. She has an incredible story. And so she started this company with the idea in jail. And so we have comeback snacks popcorn, best popcorn ever. And Clean Kiss Organics, Jody Pappas is a good friend, and she has this organic hand sanitizer. So it's packed with about $170 worth of goodies, and we're selling them for $99. So this is our event for the year. So it's kind of fun. It's exciting to see it all put together. So they'll be ready for delivery the first week of July. They're all ready. We're just waiting for the USB flash bracelet to arrive with their tickets. And it's also going to have some money saving tips and accounting tips. And that's thanks to our box partner, SB Partners. Mm-hmm. If you don't know anything about them, check them out. They're a local accounting firm. They're the most incredible giving company, and they've stepped in and said, we want to be your exclusive box partner. So again, it takes the community. It's not, like when I think of everybody that's kind of been part of this whole box process, there are people who wanted to be part of something greater than themselves, and they saw an opportunity to be part of it, and they are. So it's it's neat to see a year later how it's all unfolding. So that's what I love. It's like the end result of all that hard work, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just like with Cole.
Yeah, just like with Cole. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he's stubborn like his mother. So like,
is he?
Oh yeah, he's I don't want to say pig-headed, but he's when he's firm on something, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But when he believes in something, he digs his heels in, and we have a lot of, negotiations, and some things are up for negotiations and some things aren't. Like device in your bedroom at night is not up for negotiation. In my opinion, it needs to be on the counter at night. And he knows how to coerce me into changing my mind on some things. That it's all good.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love how you've described your relationship with your son. It's so great. Yeah. So he must be involved too then in all of your
he's a giver. He did the painting for HLF. They had 200 tiles that needed painting, and he did all the painting for that.
Great.
So it's not just me. Like, I've stressed the importance of teaching our kids how to be in the service of others. When we immerse ourselves in the service of others, it takes away all our own challenges and problems and issues, right? And so not per se GDBY, but we packed boxes at Wellington Square Community for 3 months at the beginning of COVID every Wednesday. So he was part of that and helped out HLF and part of that. And so he doesn't do a whole lot with GDBY. But that's okay. I just want him to be part of something and showing him the importance of serving, because if we teach our kids one thing, it's not about what career you have, it's how you show up in life and how you show up in your community and in the world to give back. Because this is dress rehearsal. Like, we don't take all the things that the money and all the material things, we can't take that with us. But what you do and how you live your life is everything.
I love that advice for teens, because as we all know, I mean, when you're in your teen years, those are the years where you're so self-focused. It's a natural thing. It's what happens, but it can also be so detrimental to mental health, like depression, anxiety, all of those things. So, the more kids learn that they have, whether or not they know what they want to be for the rest of their life, they still have purpose. We still need their input. We need them to give to others. We need them to be kind and help. And you know, it's such a joy. I have two co-op students who help me at the studio, and you know, with COVID, they're picking things up and taking them home, and they give me so much happiness just with their excitement about things and the way they look at the world. It's so different. And you know, I don't even think that that's something I have to tell them. They may not even realize that just those little subtleties are making a big difference for a 52-year-old woman who's wondering, you know, is this still relevant? Them getting excited is like, wow, you know, now I feel cool again. So all the teens out there, you have a big impact. And for sure.
Rachel, our student ambassador, who's, I don't know if she's still on, but
yes,
you know, she always, you know, talks about me being a mentor to her. I learn so much from her as well. And she stepped into this role as a volunteer, and the time and what she's put into, you know, DWY and helping us show the world what it's like to go through our programs and the success of our programs. That's because of her and our community youth council. And so we have to appreciate the people that do the little things, because they're really not little, they're big things, right? And that's about forming that tribe of like-minded people. It's awesome when you have a great team to work with that you just sit in. I sit in awe all the time of the people that I'm blessed to work with and have on the team. So
that's so great. So Shannon, I want to read you. So Rachel did leave a lovely comment here. She said, "You are so welcome, Shannon. So happy to be a part of this journey. And I feel so grateful to be learning from you and growing alongside your vision." And then Lori McIntyre, when you were talking about your dad, making me cry. God bless your dad. He's singing with the angels in paradise. And Amy Blanchard, happy birthday to your wonderful dad. So this is so nice. I feel so lucky that, you know, I got to celebrate your dad's birthday here with you on the show and celebrate who you are and have a spotlight on you, because we certainly need more Shannon Tobins in the world. And I think, you know, if we're getting any message from your dad, that's a big one. So it's so great.
A lot of fun. It's really, and it goes to show you that tragedy, we all experience some form of tragedy in our life, and it can happen multiple times in our life, like as we journey. But what can we do with that tragedy? And I look at Lisa Lisson losing her husband and 4 young kids under the age of 5, left to care for, and she turned, you know, that tragedy into something beautiful. And she talks about the gratitude and waking up every day being grateful. Like if anybody is challenged right now, that would be my piece of advice. And I write in my journal every morning, what are the things I'm grateful for? And if we focus on the good, even amongst some, you know, horrible times, and I can't imagine what some families are going through who have not only lost businesses during COVID, lost family members, but I look at the devastation that's going on in our world right now, and it wouldn't be fair of me to not acknowledge, you know, the residential school findings. I was having a conversation with my mom about that. We have to do better. We have to educate ourselves in doing better. And just there's so many things happening in our world that it's all hate and no love, and it's a broken people. Trying to break other people, and we need to step up and do better. So
yeah, that's so great, Shannon. I'm madly in love with you. Okay.
Cute.
I knew this would happen.
This has been fun. You know, I love the ad lib. You know, just the real raw, authentic conversations that you can have with people. That, you know, what you see. This is me. Like I'm not putting on a front. This is, and if you don't like it, that's okay. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Just to impress upon people the importance of being your authentic self and showing up the way you were meant to show up in this world is so vital as we grow and give others permission to do the same thing, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. This is so great.
Right?
So Shannon, I'm gonna test your technology with your phone after this. I want to invite you to Instagram after party where we're going to chat a little more. So everybody who's watching, please join us. It'll be on my Monica Graves 1969 Instagram page. Shannon's going to come on and we're going to quiz her some more over there. So,
this is my very first Facebook Live because I'm not on Facebook. I've never done Instagram Live. Like I'm on social media, as little as I can, to be honest. It's loud and noisy for me. And it just, and that's for my own mental health and well-being. I've chosen to kind of remove myself from a lot of the social media because you catch yourself scrolling, right? And so this will be my first Instagram Live that I do with you. So you'll have to get some instruction on how to do it. But,
no problem.
I think the piece of it is I don't like staring at when I'm sitting in front of somebody having coffee, I'm not seeing myself. And actually I'm not even looking at me right now. I'm looking at you. But we don't want to see ourselves.
I know. Maybe when we go back to the real world, they're going to have mirrors on the table so you can look at yourself just in case. No,
I hate it. Like the last thing I want to do is stare at myself all day on, Zoom or on camera. So
it's so weird.
I'm not going to do that. But it was fun. This is great. And I don't know if there's any other questions or if anybody has any questions in the chat that they want to ask.
There's no questions here, but if you guys have questions, definitely come over to Instagram and ask us some questions and we'll answer you there for sure. Yeah. Shannon, thank you so much. I'm going to put you back in the virtual green room. Grab yourself a pina colada. And
thank you for everybody who joined in on the conversation. Whether you heard something to help you or not, I just want you to all know that I really appreciate you joining and thank you for inviting me to be part of this. It's been awesome.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining. Shannon Tobin, absolutely amazing. Please, please come on over and join us for the Instagram after party. And remember, if you do need some clothes for summer, check out my friend Brenda Badome, brendabadome.com. Use the coupon code Get to Know Her for 21% off of your order and keep on showing the world your sparkle. Thanks for all the love, you guys. Talk to you soon.